Well, now, on this video, I'm going to take you through step by step on how to hide your money like the rich. By the way, have you ever noticed one thing? These guys, they usually know our areas where they actually hide their money. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how do you go about it, all right? Maybe you're watching me for the first time. My name is Joseph, talk about finances, money, and anything related to exactly that. Make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure that you as well subscribe, and also make sure that you leave a comment. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for your eyeballs at all the time coming here and watching my videos. All right, let's get into the business now. The big question people ask me is what? How do I exactly hide the money? How do I make it not accessible to just nobody out there? All right, now this is what you exactly do it. Okay. First of all, let's define what is hiding money, because some of you already have the wrong connotation. When I say hiding the money, it doesn't mean necessarily you're doing it a wrong thing, like you want to hide it somewhere because maybe you've stolen the money or maybe you've gotten yourself some bad deals or something. No, hiding money, in other words, it means that putting that money or keeping that money in a situation or in a place whereby you can actually retain it anytime you want and you still possess it. Because the very first thing that you're supposed to understand, the first rule of the money is, once you get the money, don't lose it. Rule number 2, don't lose the money. And rule number 3, don't forget it, don't lose the money. See, now hiding the money, it means how can you retain it? The absorbability, the retention. You remember the way we usually say his net worth is this amount of money. So when we say net worth, we mean how much is yours? How much have you retained? That's what we say, it is the net worth. Now, how do you hide it for you to say, hey, guess what? After 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, even the generations to come, that money will be there. Probably I know what you're thinking. Some people buy lands, some rich people buy lands, huge parcels of lands. They value add those properties and they say that is the money that I've kept it there for the generations and the generations to come. It is okay. That's one area that you can actually put your money out there. Some established companies, and those companies, you hear that those companies has been there for like 100 of years, or maybe say, hey, this company is actually being established. The foundation of that company is being laid, is a company that I want it to be there for years and years for the sake of the generation. Now, this is the point. See, to hide money simply means to retain. It's how to ensure that the money will still be yours in a certain period of time. You still have it, because some of the people, you pay them, the next minute money just passes out through your hands and then they go to the next people, because wealth passes hands each and every day. So now how do you do that? The very first thing that you do if you want to hide the money is to not put it into one specific area. I repeat, you might be known as a real estate mogul. You must be known, let's say you are a good business person. You might be known for production. You might be known for service offering. You might be known as a content creator. You might be known as an engineer. You should never put all your wealth in one area. What you're supposed to do, you're supposed to diversify on areas where your money is. See, when you diversify, it means, let's say, for example, something happens in that country, there is a crisis. Let's say maybe there is a deflation of the money in terms of, let's say, the money has lost value at a very crazy rate. For example, like what happened in Greece, like what happened in, like what is happening in Argentina, if you don't know, like what happening or happened in Zimbabwe or something of sort. So if there is such a crazy devaluation, so what exactly do you do? The very first thing that you can actually do is to go ahead and invest in stable currencies. Invest on stable currencies. You know what are stable currencies? You see, on this world that we live in, there are currencies that are more stable than the others. And there are some of the currencies that we can refer them as stable currencies. There are currencies that you can keep your money is. And I know you're thinking about dollars. It's not only dollars that is regarded as a stable currency. No, yeah, I know dollar is one of them, that's for sure. You can keep your wealth, some of your, not all of it, but some of your wealth in a dollar denominated wealth. When I say dollar denominated, I don't mean like you open a dollar account. Yeah, it can be, but again, you can buy some, maybe you can invest in a US bonds, or maybe you can buy something. You get what I'm saying? In a dollar denominated, you can invest in a money market fund that is a dollar denominated instead of shilling denominated, or maybe that currency of your country that you're watching me from. All right. So some of the examples of the stable currencies on this world, we have something like Swiss franc. Swiss franc is usually abbreviated as CHF. Swiss franc, this is a Switzerland money. Swiss franc, you can keep your money in Swiss franc. By the way, have you known this? Switzerland is known for this, is known as a country where most of the wealthy people, well, you might say like bad people, politicians and whatever, they keep their money because they have their bank policies. But I bet they are changing nowadays. But they have a bank policy where even if you, however you've gotten your money, you can keep that money there let's not go there. So the point is, Swiss franc is a very good stable currency that you can keep your money out there. All right. So now the other thing is that when I say the bank policies of Switzerland, that's how they run their country, and it's great. It's a very great country. Okay. Now the other thing about Swiss franc, or rather the other stable currency that you can keep your money is something called GBP. That is Great Britain pound. See, you can keep your wealth in terms of a Great Britain pound in a denominated of GBP. See, that is a pound. The other stable currency that you can keep your money again is euro. All right, is euro. Euro is another currency that you can keep your money in that denomination. The other thing that you can keep your money on, something like Japanese yen, JPY. All right, and by the way, if you're watching this from Kenya, I think the Japanese yen to Kenyan shilling is like almost 1:1 or something of sort. So at that particular point, these are the stable currencies that you can actually invest your cash in and be able to store your wealth in this diversification. All right. So the other thing that you can actually go ahead and pick it out there and use it as storing your wealth or hiding your wealth as the rich do, you can actually go ahead and invest in what we call the soft assets. See, soft assets, I'm not going to talk about that for now. I'm going to talk about it later. But for now, let me introduce you to new things that you have never known that they exist, and you can actually keep your money in those specific area. Such areas are examples of the metals. You can invest in metals. Metals, what do I mean? You can put your money in gold. Gold is that thing that is always out there, and you can invest your cash. You can do something about it. It's a currency. So by the way, it's the earliest currency that we have ever had in this world. So you can actually put your money out there, and you can be able to go ahead and retrieve it in future. You know what? Back then, in some years ago, let's say before 1970, before the Nixon, the former president of the United States, back then the currency of the United States dollar used to be backed by a gold, until they say, hey, guess what? There will not be that convertibility of the $1 or maybe $1 to a gold. Nowadays, the money that we have is called fiat. Fiat is that money that it's just by royal fiat, meaning like, you see, it's a money, it's not backed by anything. It's just like a paper, and then it's called a legal tender, a money that a country say, hey, this is our currency, this is what we use to transact. It's not a money that is backed by anything. See, kitambo, back then, I used to go with your money. For example, if you go with a 10,000 or maybe say 100,000, you go to a bank, you give them the money, they give you the gold, or you give them the gold, they give you the money. So once they give you that 100,000, you already know this money. If you were to show up to a bank, I give them this money, they're gonna give me the gold. That's how it used to happen. We used to call it a commodity. It's a backed commodity. So the money that used to be given used to be backed by the commodity, but nowadays it's nothing like that. You take your 100,000 to a bank, you're not given anything. You're just told, hey, you just go home, money is safe, it's okay, bye. You get what I'm saying? So you can actually keep your wealth in terms of gold. You can buy gold. There are very many companies that you can actually buy gold and keep it by yourself. All right. The other thing, you can as well keep your money in terms of the diamond. These are very precious metals. You see, you can actually keep your money in terms of that. And these are metals that are actually traded. Even in Forex, you find these metals are being traded each and every time. So it's an area that you can actually look upon and be able to. And maybe you're watching this from Kenya. There are a variety of companies that you can actually be able to buy gold. All right. The other thing is about something called expensive jewelry. Did you know one thing, by the way? You cannot be able to go to an airport and cross border with like a bag of hundreds of thousands of dollars. You cannot cross. Probably they're gonna flag you, say, hey, you're laundering money, maybe you're a thief or something of sort. But you can just cross a border with a very expensive watch. Some of the wealthy people usually hide their wealth on watches. You can actually cross border with a watch worth, let's say, $500,000. That's like over 70 million Kenyan shillings or something of sort. So it is good to understand this, that you can actually cross borders with maybe wearing a jewelry worth like 2 million, 3 million, 10 million or something of sort, but you cannot be able to cross with something. Okay, there's some of the places where you're required to declare some of the things that you possess in terms of jewelry or something of sort. If you're putting it on and you don't put it like a lot of it on your shoulder or something, like, so you don't like actually appear you get what I'm saying? You can actually, cross those borders and be able to go to the next level. Okay. Now, the other thing you can actually be able to invest on this particular area, you can be able to invest on things called commodities. Commodities like oil. People do invest on oil because this is an area that's gonna be with us for quite a long time. It's an area that you're supposed to look upon it. It's an area that is actually, sort of promising in terms of the returns and all those kind of things, because our cars will be here with us for quite a long time. So nowadays we are going towards the areas of, EV cars and such kind of things. But oil, it's a thing that you can actually think about in terms of the investment. The other thing is about wheat. By the way, if you didn't know, wheat is that grain that is used globally. A lot of places actually use this kind of a thing called wheat, and if you can invest in that area, you can be able to do. Wheat is a thing that is traded internationally. People even trade cooking oil. People even trade, a lot of things are being traded. So you can actually back your money on the wheat. You can also do so on corn. Kenya, we call it maize or whatever you call it. And also you can actually hide your money in areas like the LTD companies. You see, there is this secret that most of the wealthy people use. And this secret is whereby you find, instead of having all the properties under your name, you can actually create a company, becomes a limited company. Let's say maybe you have a company that has built a certain rental or a flat somewhere, and maybe somebody has slipped and has fallen, and maybe there is an accident, and that person needs to be paid. Therefore, it means, and the company or that flat is owned by that company, and that company is limited. It is your company, but you have detached yourself from that given company. So if that person maybe sues that specific owner of that given flat, and the owner of that given flat is the company, that company can be, or that guy can be only, let's say the flat is worth, let's say like 8 million. Therefore it means, and maybe the person needs like 7 million, or maybe let's say 9 million. So he can get a maximum of 8 million because they cannot go beyond the value of that given property or value of that given company or something of sort. So you have to understand how to hide your wealth and all those kind of things. It's an area that is quite interesting if you actually pick it out there, and you can do something great as far as growth and development is concerned. All right. So anyway, guys, guess what? Don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Comment down below, tell me what you think, and do post a video each and every day. And if you don't want to miss any of my good videos, come on, do that thing. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and let's meet to the next video. For now, it's a goodbye. And by the way, if you would like to have a conversation with me, perhaps you would like to go ahead and grab that number of mine. It is on the description of this specific video. Get that number, shoot me a call, and from that particular point, we can have a discussion as we progress to the next level. And again, guys, don't forget, don't ignore subscribing to this channel. Don't as well ignore commenting down below on what you think. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.